looking at Donald Trump's foreign policy, do you have a sense of it?
Well, it's evolving, and it shifts around quite a bit as far as I can see. But glad to see he's supporting NATO. He's gotten off the challenge to the one China policies. Secretary of State Tillerson was in Beijing, I read, but Xi is coming to the United States. That's a good thing. If he can develop a good relationship with the president of China, that's very important. And I think I know him slightly, and I think it's quite possible. He's a real human being, and you can have a discussion with him, and I'll give you an example. We have had a track two with China that Henry Kissinger has been the leader of. So we go over to Beijing, and Xi was known that he was going to be president, but he wasn't president yet. Gave a dinner for us in the State Guest House. He gave a talk, Henry gave a talk, and then we had a dinner, and I sat beside him at dinner. And I knew he was going to Washington. So I said, on your way to Washington, why don't you stop in San Francisco? We've got a Chinese-American mayor who's doing a good job, and be a nice turnout, be a nice thing to do. And he said, well, I've already agreed to stop in Los Angeles, so I can't do that. But if I came that way, what I'd really like to do is come to Stanford, because there's something going on around there that I need to know about. And you can only know about it if you're there and you get a direct feeling. Well, I was fascinated, number one, that he knew about the Silicon Valley business, and number two, that he felt you don't understand something by just reading about it. You got to go there and talk to people and feel it. Very wise.
Back to the State Department for a moment. Donald Trump's budget, which will get changed by Congress, but it is a way that a president talks about priorities. In Donald Trump's budget, he cut significantly expenditures for the State Department. What are the possible risks of that?
Well, the State Department has a big role to play, and it has it's a big enterprise. It has people stationed in embassies around the world. The embassies are very important. There are eyes and ears around the world, and they're also the way that we express ourselves, and people look at the embassy, and it's a way of judging it. So the embassies are very important, and what the implications are for that, I don't know. I don't know what the problems in the State Department budget are right now, but there are also all sorts of special things that you need to focus on. That is, I know that you have to have an active program of fighting terrorism. There's an economic bureau in the State Department that a lot of international stuff has many implications. Then there's a military person that's stationed in the State Department. And this guy, I had two really first-class people. If anything happens, they're over in the tank, and I know what the chiefs are thinking. If it didn't have that, it would take 3 days for the bureaucratic process to give me that. But we had a way of an intimate exchange. So there are all kinds of special things in the department that you want to maintain. They're good. And what the implications of this cut are, I don't know.